everybody, and welcome to this special on the new moon in Leo that happens at 2:40 a.m. on the 15th of September, and then the moon enters Virgo at 7:06 a.m. on the same day as well. So it's like a Leo Virgo vibe to the new moon. So in astrology, the new moon symbolizes new beginnings and fresh starts. It's a time when the moon aligns with the sun and is not visible, so we can't see it from Earth. This phase represents a period of introspection and setting intentions for the future. Under the influence of Leo, this new moon encourages us to embrace our creativity in the passions and express ourselves authentically. So Leo is known for its boldness, confident and leadership qualities. So when the new moon is in Leo, we're encouraged to step into our personal power and shine our light brightly during this time. From a practical standpoint, Leo's new moon prompts us to act towards our goals and desires. It's a time for proactive and being assertive in pursuing our ambitions, and it reminds us that we have the ability to create our own destiny and make positive changes in our lives. On the spiritual level, the new moon in Leo invites us to connect with our higher selves and tap into our inner wisdom, and to trust our intuition and follow our heart's desires. And ultimately it's a time for self-discovery and embracing our unique gifts without overly seeking external validation and forcing ourselves on others and crossing their boundaries, but just by being calm and just being who we actually are. From an esoteric perspective, the new moon in Leo can bring about a balanced integration of our physical and spiritual selves if we want to. It reminds us that we're not just physical beings but also possess a divine essence within us. This energy encourages us to align our actions with our higher purpose and live a life that is authentic and in alignment with our true selves. The new moon goes into Virgo at 7:06 a.m. on the same day, just under 5 hours when the new moon is exact, but moon phases and such as the new moon, full moon always lasts up to 5 to 7 days. So as the moon goes into Virgo, we shift our focus towards being more practical and organized. The energy of Virgo encourages us to pay attention to the details, prioritize our responsibilities and create more structure in our lives. So as the moon transitions from Leo into Virgo, it signifies it's time to be more discerning in the actions that we do and to take analysis, think before we react and act. So, reflecting on our actions and making the necessary changes that need to be made to achieve our goals with more efficiency and precision. As you know, Virgo is an earth sign and it's known for its meticulous nature and paying attention to detail. So we're encouraged to be more methodical in our approach and be more proactive in going after our goals and being a bit more ambitious in pursuing our goals. Now I'm going to talk about the aspects the new moon makes on the 15th of September. So the moon and the sun at the time of the new moon makes a trine with Jupiter, which is 6.34 degrees separating. So it's a slight influence. So it can bring a sense of expansion, make us more confident and creative, giving us opportunities for self-expression. So positively encourages us to embrace our passions and take bold steps towards personal development. On the negative end, there's a risk of being overindulgent and becoming too self-centered. So it's important to maintain a balance between ambition and humility, being humble at this time. The sun and the moon are also in opposition to Neptune, so this aspect can bring a touch of magic and imagination to the new moon in Leo, as it encourages us to tap into our intuition, dream big and explore our deepest desires. However, there's a potential for confusion, illusion and deception, so it's crucial to stay grounded and make sure that you can tell the difference between fact and fiction, reality and fantasy. All Neptune aspects can make us go into addiction, taking too much drugs, drinking alcohol. So use this energy to channel your creativity rather than get lost in unrealistic expectations. So watch the red flags, double check any information, watch out for manipulating and being manipulative, and if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But that I do believe in fairy tales and stuff, but practical fairy tales just check the details and you'll be fine. And the sun and the moon makes a trine to Pluto, so it empowers us to take control of our life, release patterns that no longer serve us, and embrace personal growth. It encourages us to be deep and go into self-reflection and to make changes that need be, but also reminds us to be cautious of power struggles, what can always come up with all Pluto energy, and control issues and also manipulation, so doubling the risks of manipulation because the moon and the sun is in opposition to Neptune as well. But the best use of the sun and moon's trine to Pluto is to dig deep into the depths of your psyche if you have the energy and have the inclination to do that, and to empower yourself and others positively. The sun and the moon are in biquintal with the north node, which is at a 1.23 degrees separating, so a slight kind of impact. So it encourages us to align with our true path and follow our heart's desires. Also supports our sort of creativity and getting, out of the box solutions to our problems, and also supports our forms of spiritual growth. So we can embrace this energy with gratitude and openness, and if we do that, it can lead to significant breakthroughs and life-changing experiences. So although biquintals are subtle, esoteric, karmic aspects, but if we apply ourselves, then anything can be achieved. The moon square to Uranus encourages us to embrace change and break free from limitations and express ourselves more authentically, and urges us to release old patterns and embrace new possibilities. But we have to watch out for making impulsive decisions and take time to ground ourselves and use this energy in a more constructive ways. The moon's opposition to Saturn can bring a sense of responsibility and discipline to the new moon. It can highlight any limitations that we may have and give us ways to overcome them, but we may have feelings of self-doubt that we need to address and overcome before we can go after the opportunities that can be given to us. So it encourages us to take a realistic approach, because Saturn energy is all about being practical and realistic, and to set goals for ourselves, small daily steps, keeping in mind that success and change require dedication, patience and persistence. And also at this time it may feel like you're being tested for how determined and committed you are, so you may have to overcome some challenges. But the best use of this energy is to assess your priorities, make necessary changes to your goals that need to be made, and remember that discipline and hard work can lead to lasting success and fulfillment. So trust in your abilities to change and make adjustments and to get what you really want in life, and stay focused on the bigger picture rather than the small little blips that can happen. So at the time of the new moon there's a grand trine, and the grand trine is basically when 3 or more planets form like an equilateral triangle. So this is a good energy, increasing creativity, intuition and overall well-being. So the grand trine involving the sun, moon and Pluto and Uranus can supports being more confident, and which is really good because it overcomes the negative aspects, sides of the aspects I was talking about that can make us be more doubt our abilities and stuff like that as well. It supports us going after our true passions and shining our lights brightly. The moon's presence in this grand trine emphasises our feelings and intuitions, urging us to connect deeply with ourselves. Pluto and Uranus amplifies these energies of rebirth and transformation, and wanting us to let go of old patterns and supporting us embracing personal growth. Uranus brings innovation and change, encouraging us to break free from limitations and pursue our authentic desires. Negatively, we can become too overwhelmed or overly impulsive, so the importance of being grounded is brought to our attention again, and it's best to avoid rushing into hasty decisions or actions. So the moon's going into Virgo at the time of this grand trine as well, and this new moon highlights analysis and being practical and being organised. So this helps us channel the intense energies of the grand trine into productive and efficient actions, but we have to watch out that we don't focus too much on being practical, which can lead to overthinking and getting lost in the smaller details, as I said. So it's beneficial to find a balance between embracing creativity and self-expression while also grounding ourselves in practicality and organisation, allowing your intuition to guide you as you connect more deeply with your inner self, and trusting the process of self-discovery, personal growth and transformation that can follow with, practical action. Also be mindful that the intensity of Pluto's involvement in this grand trine and other aspects at the time of this new moon may bring up deep-seated emotions and fears, which can be scary, but we must confront our inner demons, although it can be overwhelming at times. But the purpose of life's journey is to shed what no longer serves us and make space for new, beginnings, relationships and ways of being in this world. Uranus sparks a desire for freedom and liberation, encouraging us to step out of our comfort zones and embrace unconventional paths. And although, this journey may feel unsettling, as I said, we are being pushed to question our existing beliefs and norms. Are we conforming too much? Are we really living our lives or just trying to live up to other people's expectations? And as we navigate these intense energies, it's essential to practice self-care and nurture ourselves, taking the time to rest, recharge and reflect on our needs, and surrounding ourselves with supported and like-minded people who can provide guidance and encouragement during this transformative journey. And remember that each person's journey will be unique. What works for you may not work for another, so trust your own intuition and follow the path that resonates with your deepest values and desires, and allow yourself to explore different possibilities and experiment with new ways of being, and embrace the unknown and trust that the universe has a plan for you. Also, there's a kite aspect at the time of this new moon in September. So the kite aspect is a unique configuration, so it actually makes like a kite, an actual kite shape, and that's why it's called a kite aspect. So it represents a dynamic and powerful energy that can amplify the effect of the new moon. So a kite aspect consists of a grand trine, which I said forms an equilateral triangle, and then an opposition aspect, and that's why it's called a kite. So the kite that's being formed is between the Sun, Moon, Pluto, Neptune and Uranus. So positively, this supports breakthrough, like the other aspects, and self-empowerment. Neptune, adds a touch of inspiration, enchanting our intuition and creativity. On the negative end, it can lead to, amplify the power struggles and conflicts that we've already talking about. And, Neptune's dreamy influence can make it challenging to stay grounded and practical today, as mentioned already. So Uranus here adds a, element of unpredictability. Overall, the kite aspect provides opportunities for growth and supports us sharing our knowledge with others, and overcoming obstacles and getting out of our comfort zone if we can be flexible and remain open-minded. So the moon and the sun are in the 28th degree of Leo, which has the Sabian symbol of many little birds on the limb of a large tree, and rules the coordinate tendencies in the human body. And Neptune is in the 3rd degree of Neptune with the Sabian symbol, a petrified forest, which rules the nerves of the right foot. So Sabian degrees just provide us with deeper spiritual and esoteric insights into the meanings of any astrological event. So at the time of the new moon, the symbology of many little birds on the limb of a large tree imagery invokes a sense of vibrant energy and abundance. In terms of interpretation, this symbol suggests that during the new moon there will be an opportunity of creative energy and communicative energy. Just like the birds on the limb, you can find yourself engaging in lively conversations, expressing your ideas with enthusiasm and experiencing a surge of inspiration. The presence of the large tree in the petrified forest, which is Neptune's degree, signifies that stability and grounding is available to us and provides a solid foundation for change. So The cordonary tendencies are tendons that connect the heart valve to the muscles responsible for regulating blood flow in the human body. So in terms of influence, it suggests that during the new moon there can be an increased focus on emotional connections and matters of the heart, also reminding us to look after our heart as well. Relationships can take center stage for some of you, and you may find yourself more tuned to matters of love and compassion at this time. And heart tendons, the cordonary tendencies, symbolize the delicate balance between vulnerability and inner strength, reminding us to approach relationships with more care and nurturing. And as I said, the degree of Neptune, the imagery of the petrified forest, carries a sense of stillness and preservation. So it provides the vibration for us to reflect on our past and learn from it. Just like a petrified forest, this symbol indicates that it's time for introspection and encourages us to take a step back from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and dive into our own thoughts and experiences. The petrified forest also represents the idea of preserving things, reminding us to hold on to our core values and beliefs, even in the face of change and diversity. But on the other hand, it can also make us think about updating these beliefs and stuff, and are we holding on to things, and is it stopping us in time like a petrified forest and just keeping us frozen in time instead of moving with the times that can bring more abundance to ourselves. And this is not to say get rid of all of the old, because a lot of tradition actually has some good in it, but tradition just needs to be updated and modernized. So just thinking about the time where you can reevaluate your sense of identity and ensure that you're staying true to yourself, and looking at the areas in your life that you've become stagnant and rigid, and setting your ways and our resistance to change, and thinking about how you can let go of old patterns and embrace the unknown. Just like a petrified forest can eventually transform into something new, this symbol reminds us that change is inevitable. It's necessary as well for personal evolution. So supports us breaking free from constraints of our past. I know it can be traumatic, but if we take time out to heal our psychological, emotional, spiritual wounds and just look after our overall health and forgive ourselves and others, exploring our inner landscapes and reflecting on the beliefs that have shaped our life, and considering what aspects of your life may have become rigid or stagnant and petrified. So, asking yourself, are there old habits and fears or limiting beliefs that no longer serve you? And how can you release them to make way for new growth? In the stillness of self-reflection, you may uncover hidden treasures from your past, lessons learned, experiences that have shaped you, and values that remain important to you. And these core elements need to be preserved as you navigate the ever-changing tides of life and embrace the challenges that lie ahead. And as you re-evaluate your sense of identity, remember that staying true to yourself means honouring these core values and beliefs that have guided you so far. So the new moon in Leo reminds us that change is not something to be feared, but an opportunity for personal evolution. The third degree of Neptune rules the nerves of the right foot, so reminding us of the interconnectedness between our physical body and the ethereal energies that rule our lives. So just as a petrified forest can transform into something new, our bodies and minds can also undergo a profound metamorphosis. If we consider the symbolism of the right foot, which represents forward movement and taking steps towards growth and change, are there areas in your life where you feel constrained? Perhaps it's time to release any fears or limitations that have held you back and take a leap of faith towards personal transformation. Shedding the burdens of your past and opening yourself up to the endless possibilities that can lie ahead if you're open to making the changes, taking a moment to reflect on your own journey and the lessons you have learned along the ways, and asking yourself what values have remained in your heart and guided you through both the calm and stormy seas in your life. These values are your compass, directing you towards your authenticity and growth. And as you redefine your sense of self, remember to stay true to those core beliefs that have shaped your character and led you to this moment of potential transformation. So at the time of the new moon, The Sun and the Moon are aligned with the fixed star Denebola, supporting us in challenging societal norms and going against the grain. Denebola's influence invites us to embrace our individuality and embark on a pathless travel, so stepping out of conformity. Jupiter also aligns with the fixed star Munkar, which carries, and Jupiter's in retrograde at the moment, and I've done a special on that, so check that out if you want to. It went into retrograde on the 4th of September. So Jupiter aligning with Menkar carries the imagery of being a victim of our unconscious, so it encourages us to dive deep within ourselves, confront our inner demons, like the Pluto energy I was talking about earlier wants us to do. So it amplifies our determination to break through from societal expectations, and this is if we wish to do so, even if it means going against the wills of others, what they want for us, and encourages us to trust our intuition and follow our hearts, and reminding us and supporting us in showing us that expressing who we really are, and this is where true happiness comes from, rather than conforming to external pressures. Also supports us in exploring the hidden parts of our psyche and releasing the patterns that have trapped us in victimhood. So the imagery of the victim of the unconscious calls upon us to shine a light on our deepest fears, insecurities and unresolved traumas, so that we can release them and move forward with more clarity and inner strength. All in all, Jupiter's conjunction with the fixed star Mentor encourages us to step into our true power, embrace who we are and love who we are, warts and all, which basically means our shadow self and our good side, and to break free from the limitations of society or our own subconscious mind, unconscious mind, which can be our prisoner, because if we don't change the thoughts we hold there, these thoughts shape our reality. So in terms of the worldly, materialistic, mundane and political and social meanings of the new moon, so the new moon in Leo inspires us to tap into our inner passions and embrace our unique talents as a collective. It encourages us to share our gifts with the world. This cosmic energy can bring us more confidence and a desire for recognition. It's time to step out into the spotlight and express yourself boldly, whether it be in your personal relationships or professional pursuits. As the new moon transitions into Virgo, the focus shifts towards being more practical and paying more attention to detail. So the Virgo vibration encourages us to analyse and refine our plans and goals. On the mundane political level, it can bring changes in our leadership or shifts in the power dynamics that may significantly impact society's fabric. So the new moon in Leo symbolises charismatic leadership and the desire for recognition, which can play out as influential figures stepping into position of authority or gaining prominence in their respective fields. This can also lead to an atmosphere of inspiration and enthusiasm, as individuals are inspired to follow their own passions and express themselves authentically. When the energy of the new moon goes into Leo, leaders may prioritize implementing practical solutions and streamlining process to achieve greater effectiveness in our social systems and political systems, and this can result in changes that aim to improve the overall functioning of institutions and address any existing inefficiencies in sort of like computer systems, data and processing and stuff like that. So on the personal level, the moon's transition into Virgo encourages us to adapt a similar mindset of practicality and attention to detail, urging us to analyse the areas in our lives and identify where we can make improvements. So this can involve, as I said, setting clearer goals, organising your schedules and taking concrete steps towards achieving your aspirations. So this may involve holding our skills, practicing our craft and finding innovative solutions to our problems. And during this period, it's important to remember that leadership can take many forms. While Leo represents charismatic and influential figures, Virgo reminds us of the power of quiet, competence and attention to detail. So we may find our own leadership qualities come to the forefront as we focus on improving ourselves and our immediate surroundings at the time of this new moon in Leo Virgo on the 15th of September. So yeah, the new moon is a time to, reflect, set intentions. Don't feel like you have to make all changes all at once. Balancing your creativity with your more logical side, your right brain with your left brain. Uncovering, the things in your subconscious that are holding you back, and just taking slow and steady steps to bring about the changes you want to see in your life and in the world. So yeah, this concludes this analysis of the new moon on the 15th of September 23. Take care. Please follow or subscribe if you like my content, and yeah, see you next time.